I'll say this about this whole Mencho situation. I feel like there's been a ramping up of the misinformation campaign. We're living in a world where a person could wake up in the morning, sit at the edge of his bed, and have a theory in his head and just think, man, I wonder if it went down like this. And he can just take that to the internet and just type it out. This is the thought that I had this morning. And people grab that, run with that, and call that news. This is the world that we live in. It falls into this snowball of news and information that we're getting on a regular basis. Meanwhile, 90% of it is just somebody who sat at the edge of their bed and had a thought, an opinion. Some smarter than others at the end of that bed. We got to be careful what we consume out there. The AI is getting better. So somebody sent me a video of soldiers celebrating the end of Mencho. They're celebrating. It was AI. I feel like there's that aspect of it, and then there's the governmental aspect of it. The world politics aspect of it, where the U.S. is putting out bullshit information. Mexico's putting out bullshit information. Claudia Asada bomb talking about nothing to see here. Nada pasa. Nada pasa. Nothing to see here. Abrazos, no balazos. So everybody's lying. But on this one, with the Mayo situation, which is probably the biggest, this is probably the biggest news since Mayo was snatched. And the misinformation was very strong then. I feel like it's doubled and tripled this go around. I feel like it's crazy out there. The amount of bullshit we're hearing out there.
Bullshit.
Since they've been raising hell, since the beginning of them starting to raise hell in Mexico over this, I've wondered what they wanted. Usually when you go burn some shit up, it's because you want somebody released from prison, kidnapped, something like that. The man's gone. What are y'all burning everything up for? Supposedly, because we hear so much, hostages, and they want this. Where they at? Where they at? Show it to me. Show me a real story. Same thing with the $50,000 bounties or whatever it was on the ICE dorks' heads. Where? That's just something somebody woke up and said. My initial thought was, okay, Jay said, they're going to want his body. So I thought that was it. When we heard about the body, they said the body would stay at the special prosecutor's office or wherever they had it until the family came to collect it. I said to myself, I wonder how easy that is. You come collecting his body, they don't rush you right there. What's happening? Whatever. But I thought that they were trying to liberate his body. I don't know what they was wilding out over. Now, this misinformation is very heavy and deep because you got people in Mexico saying, that was on Sunday. Sunday the shit went up, and then by Monday morning everything was chill again. And some people are saying the shit's still going down. I don't know who's what and what's who at this point. This guy's reporting that nobody came to collect his body, and that finally someone was sent for his body, but it was not the family. Cartel only wants the body to confirm his death. If what the people are saying are true and they calm down already, they ain't get the body, right? Everybody's saying there's hostage threats. Okay, what do they want? Nobody can answer that question. We're just assuming it's the body. They've just claimed the remains of El Mencho, and it wasn't family. Up until this day, until this morning, nobody came to collect the body of El Mencho. The government said that if they didn't come collect his body, that they were going to put him in a forensic cemetery. I guess that's a state-sponsored cemetery. I don't know. Like today on the 25th of February, all right, somebody finally showed up to claim the body, and it was a representative of the family. It wasn't the family. A lawyer, a legal family representative. He's trying to use every method possible so that they'll turn his body over to him, since none of the family wants to get close. And that is a valid situation. The family can put a legal representative physically with a document that says this is their wishes. That way he can reclaim the body. What's a sepelio? A funeral? A burial? A wake? Okay, bet. The state is going to do it since no one will claim the body. I think that legal family representative is going to get the body. So unless somebody comes and gets that body, the state's going to have a funeral for him. They better relax. They better sit their ass down somewhere. They better not do that. No. No, mommy's wake. All his family are criminals. Yeah, I would figure nobody want to show up over there. What? Gotcha, bitch. You go over there to get the body and they lock your ass up. It's like, come on, man. They send the legal representative, but they're like, nah, we're gonna draw you out. A person I know is trying to get caught because they went to, nobody's trying to get caught because they went to go claim the body. Facts. All the money that he cannot take with him. All the dismembered and tortured souls he has to answer for. Who wants that life? People not smart enough to know that that's not something they should want. Unfortunately, they don't know no better. They want to wear the t-shirt, not realizing that these men were child abusers. They want to wear the t-shirt, not realizing they have 15-year-old girlfriends and wives. They want to wear the t-shirt, not realizing innocent people were not off the chopping block. They were on the table always.
I just arrived to the location in Tapalpa, Jalisco, where El Mencho was captured a few days ago.
El Mencho, all right.
This is literally the house he was staying at. I'm outside of it right now. This seems to be an area right in front of the house where his punteros, his lookouts, were looking out. They were camping out here to keep an eye out. There's towels and food remnants, sheets, and then there's a truck here and a motorcycle, and you can see there's actually blood on this truck. It looks like the military came through kind of like this way. All of this forest in front of...
I'm gonna say something, man. Not just her, just a lot of them. A lot of people that cover this shit is looking very performative to me. That's it.
Me is burned. Even some of it's still smoldering, but I'm seeing bullet shell casings everywhere. Obviously the blood and then remnants that shit really hit the fan here. One thing I'm seeing is, you know, I've seen some blood here and there. A lot of 50 cal shell casings. I wonder if I can, is there any? There's some right here. You guys can see there and over here. There's a vehicle behind me. It doesn't have front plates, but the plates are still right up there. It's also it's not an armored car by any means, not bulletproof. There's absolutely no damage.
She said, fuck that car. It's not bulletproof. Fake ass cartel car.
To this house. But there are 50 caliber shell casings everywhere. And yet all of the walls, the windows, the vehicles are completely intact.
Isn't that crime scene, shouldn't it be taped off? You know, I've seen many a video of people walking through it. You would think, right? You would think it'd be taped off and everybody relax. But everybody just walking around. The story is what matters. Don't look very depressing to me. Nice, nice. Boom, what we got here? Nice little cobblestone jump off. All right. Got a bunch of quilts. You never know. You need more soldiers and shit. He needed more soldiers. Bikes are down. Clothes strewn everywhere. Is this where she said his punteros were at? Look at this. And again, this is after the shit's been ransacked too, you know? Shit's been ransacked. They look like they try to be cleanly. Look, they got aluminum foil all over wrapped around the stove. He got messy men, you know? Messy men in the kitchen and shit. His security staff. But again, you know, you could be depressed in a $1 trillion mansion. But I'm just saying, it's pretty nice. And who knows, maybe they pulled everything out of the fridge and went through everything. Or they was getting ready for dinner. Yeah, they was getting ready for dinner, man, or lunch or something. All right, got the food. Boy, they got a deep freezer, man. It's nice. Bar. Yeah, they fucked the door up. Nice door, though. Look at that. Little chandeliers. Chandelier. Shout out James Moore. Nice place. It's nice. Ain't no slum in there. Nah, man. It's nice. Hit that like button if you have yet to do so. Looks clean for the most part. I mean, it's kind of big, you know. Got the barbecue grill in the back. This is where they put your head down right here. Swing sword on you. Yep. No crime tape. Everything to see here, y'all. What they got? He got the blue pill in there. What they got in there? Birth control. Sedatives and shit. It's definitely not Diddy's drawer. No baby oil in there, nothing. What's going on in here? Anybody recognize any of this shit? Come on, cop to it. Got thermometer right here in the Ziploc. What we got? What you got? Yeah, that's why. That's why I think like Kingpin said he was having a good night. So he was cracking his gut in a nice Airbnb for the last time. More shit on the ground. Little grenades and shit. Come on, man. Place is nice. Boom. What's this? A big ass rolling cooler. You got the rolling cooler joint. People like, yo, this dude was messy. Oh, they flexed this shit. Flipped everything over. More bedrooms. It's a nice place, man. El Mencho's payroll. Detailed payments to police, lookouts, and illegal businesses. In one of the cabins where El Mencho was hiding, detailed accounting records of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel's operations were found. That shit sounds too easy for me. Including income and expenses from drug sales, salaries for the lookouts and hitmen, and bribe payments to official police and military personnel. The payroll includes lists of monthly payments, expenses for gasoline, hackers, and even records of sales of crystal meth, marijuana, and fentanyl, with the names of operators and regional leaders. The documents show that in December 2025, the four letters had income of 8,781,353 pesos in Tapalpa and surrounding areas, and reports payments to local authorities that represent a significant percentage of the municipal security payroll. So this, I guess this is the whole thing. Yeah, by place. Tapalpa, Cocula, Maquinitas. So this is the places and the amount of money that goes there. I think the next one is the breakdown. Boom. And it has somebody's name here. What's up? This is somebody borrow money. Somebody borrow money from the payroll. And it said clean 15 million. So these are the big boy numbers. In this town, 7.8 million on the payroll, pesos. In this town, 8.7 million. In this town, 500 stacks. Somebody took 1.5 off the top. These are the different towns here. All right, but that looks like big money, but it's spread out between 1,000 disposable soldiers. 1,000,000 disposable soldiers. Did they find one with income coming from the U.S.? Yeah, if they did, we ain't going to hear about it. Never going to happen. Boom, we got more money here. You know, these nice, neat records that they got. Well, guys doing their thing. Muchachos, 4 weeks, 928 grand. Food, mechanics, in general, 854 grand. Look, the PFP, the municipal police. Different crews, I guess. Come on, man. The government been sitting back, chilling, 50 years. Little coins dropping in the piggy bank. Coins just falling in the piggy bank for 50 years. Come on, man. Of course. Nothing to see here. Nothing happening. Payroll had to get paid. I mean, what else is keeping them there? Love? They know love. That little $200 and the adrenaline rush and whatever drugs and whatever bullshit come with it. But they kept them records, didn't they? Look at this. Commander. With the name. Commander. 4,000 what? What is this, a week? So $200 a week to the commanders? Damn, they was treating the commanders like bitch. Look at $200 a week to the gunners? No mames.
No mames, wait.
Come on, man. Damn, pennies. Municipal police got more. $200 a week. I mean, compared to nothing, I guess, right? It also comes with the risk of your life. And not in a quick way. It could take a very long time, be done very slowly and meticulously. Lista de muchachos. All right, this is their boss. Their boss got a little bit more. A little 350, 400. It was 4,000 pesos. It's like 230 or some shit like that. 232.08.
No mommy's wake.
Yo. Yeah. There you go. 200 a week or death. Shout out Ulysses. Yeah, that might be the choice. So there we have it, man. The baller life of being in the cartel. You too can live the glorious, glamorous cartel life. All you have to do is turn yourself over to your new master. Take this $230 a week, and you'll live as long as you're valuable in some way, whether to point and shoot or to go get the cocas. I think it's kind of ridiculous. A lot of journalists have been declaring that this one is the new leader, that one is the new leader. I think it's going to take time. Maybe somebody will be named as the predecessor, but they're going to fight. And it ain't going to be an organized fight. It's just going to be some internal shit. There's going to be some splintering. It's going to take a little bit of... That's why I feel like they can't be in nobody's alliance and be helping nobody at this point. Not without their leader. So the 4 letters, as we knew it, is done. Oh, I believe so. Just as much as the Chapitos, and just as much as the Sinaloa cartel is gone. Post-mortem, Mencho is dead. El Tre is in. This is a declaration. They're making a declaration here that he's the boss. But I don't know if they know or don't know. On the morning of February 22nd, Mexican Special Forces killed Nemesio Rubino Ceguera Cervantes in Mencho, in the mountain town of Tapalpa, Jalisco, ending an over-decade-long manhunt for the most powerful and elusive drug lord in Mexico. The official account is straightforward. An army helicopter dropped more than a dozen special forces near his hideout before sunrise. A firefight erupted and Mencho was found gravely wounded in the underbrush where he had fled with only 2 bodyguards. He died during the air transfer to a hospital in Mexico City. The official account says Mencho died of his wounds during the air transfer to Mexico City. But veteran cartel journalist Joan Grillo, writing for his outlet Crash Out, reports that multiple Mexican and U.S. security sources told him the decision had been made before the boots ever hit the ground. Mencho was not to be taken alive. That's an operative thing. Maybe they're not going to arrest sometimes. Whatever reasons they got, we can speculate all day long. When soldiers pulled him wounded from the underbrush and loaded him onto a military plane, 2 of his operatives also reportedly died in transit. 3 people dying of wounds on the same military aircraft is a hard thing to swallow, and Grillo doesn't shy away from what that implies. Whether Mencho was executed on that plane will likely never be officially confirmed. Listen, people say Martin Luther King didn't die at the hotel. He died in the hospital. Anything is possible. Everything is possible. Everyone's lying. Joke's on you. You could talk all the political double talk you want. The joke's on you. You could talk all the cheerleader cartel shit. The joke's on you. But Grillo points out, given the thousands of 4 letters has killed and the mass graves it has left across Mexico, the line of people demanding answers is going to be pretty short. According to the Los Angeles Times, the circumstances that made the operation possible tell their own story. Mencho had hosted a party at the property the night before the raid. A romantic partner who was being tracked had left that morning. Authorities reportedly had only a few hours to plan once the location was confirmed. When the helicopters arrived, Mencho had roughly a dozen bodyguards with him, a fraction of his normal security apparatus, and was accompanied by just 2 men when soldiers finally found him hiding in the underbrush. The cabins where he spent his final hours had previously been sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury for ties to the 4 letters. Staying at a location already on Washington's radar would seem like an obvious risk. Yet for a man who reportedly moved every 2 days, there may have been a certain logic to it. A property already scrutinized and passed over can start to feel, however foolishly, like one hiding in plain sight. So the U.S. Treasury already had I think that's a fuck up. Might be logical, but didn't work. But now here's the thing. You know what? I'll take it back. Here's why it did work. Because they didn't catch his location because it was sanctioned by the U.S. They caught his location because he had a chick come over. They tracked her. Striking at precisely this moment made every bit of sense. Mencho, without his normal security apparatus, was almost certainly a rare occurrence, and with the Trompito administration bearing down on Mexico with demands for tangible results against the cartels, the window was not one the Mexican government could afford to leave open. There are several rumors that other high-ranking members of the cartel were killed, with the exception of El Tuli. These are unconfirmed at this point. To understand what has been lost and what has been unleashed, it helps to understand what Mencho represented. He was the most consequential figure in Mexican organized crime in the last decade, transforming Four Letters from a regional outfit into a national force that has a presence in nearly every state. He demonstrated his capacity for survival and for audacity as far back as 2015, when the Four Letters shot down a Mexican military helicopter during an attempted capture of Mencho in Jalisco, an act of open warfare against a state that announced the cartel's arrival on the national stage in terms no one could argue. But the scale of Mencho's rise should never be separated from the scale of the suffering it produced. Say it again. But the scale of Mencho's rise should never be separated from the scale of the suffering it produced. If you cool with innocent people suffering in the name of being a gangster, fuck you. I think you put. And if you don't got the power, you just a pussy with no power. You get the power, then you a pussy with power. If that's what you're into, if that gets you off, you're crazy. Four Letters' expansion across America left a trail of mass graves, displaced communities, and destroyed local economies in its wake. The cartel became one of the primary suppliers of fentanyl to the United States, a drug that has killed hundreds of thousands of Americans. His territorial battles, fought with military-grade weapons, drones carrying explosives, and a deliberate strategy of spectacular brutality, gutted whole regions and drove entire populations from their homes. Journalists, police, local officials, and ordinary civilians paid with their lives for existing in spaces CJNG wanted to control. The response to his death was immediate and fierce. Cartel operatives launched coordinated roadblocks and set fire to vehicles across Mexico. Whether this began as a frantic attempt to force the government to hand over Mencho, a last desperate bid to reverse the irreversible, or whether it was retaliatory once his death was confirmed, or some volatile mixture of both, remains an open question. What it demonstrated, unambiguously, is that the Four Letters retains the capacity to destabilize the country without its founder. And the question of who leads the organization now has been answered. Multiple sources, including several contacted directly by this writer, pointed to Juan Carlos Valencia Gonzalez, known as El Tres, as the new leader of the CJNG. El Tres is Mencho's stepson and the son of Armando Valencia Cornelio, the former kingpin of the Valencia cartel, giving him a bloodline that runs through two of the most powerful criminal organizations in modern Mexican history. His emergence as the successor is not a surprise. El Tres has been considered a serious contender for succession since at least 2019 and has long operated with CJNG at the highest levels. One detail about El Tres stands apart from everything else. He was born in the United States, making him, if these sources are correct, the first American citizen ever to lead a major Mexican cartel. Sources acknowledge, however, that there is a distinct uneasiness across the organization. Four Letters is not a unified chain of command, but a patchwork of semi-autonomous cells. It's what gangbanging turned into in Chicago. In Chicago, there used to be bosses, there used to be leaders, there used to be chiefs. They all went to jail. These shorties split off. And their corner was their gang now. Not the gang unified on 100 corners. No, their corner is fuck all of y'all. CJNG is not a unified chain of command, but a patchwork of semi-autonomous cells spread across the country. And several powerful lieutenants are now expected to bend the knee to a new leader. That deference may hold in the short term. Whether it holds beyond that is a different question entirely. The prospect of the organization fracturing is not a cause for optimism. A weakened but unified Four Letters is the devil we know. A splintering Four Letters, with powerful regional lieutenants suddenly freed from central authority and competing for dominance, is something far more dangerous and far harder to manage. AKA, the people gonna suffer. That's it.